Hey BGLWs, it's your girl Shanae, and today I'm coming to you with some quick final exam tips. No graphics in this video, no intro. Girl doesn't even have on her contacts, okay? I'm just bringing it to you raw because I know that final exams are starting for a lot of people next week on Monday. For some people, your final exam period has started already, and maybe you've had one exam or you're approaching your first exam next week. Whatever the case may be, I want to bring to you some tips that are going to be very, very important. Tip number one, pay attention to the call of the question. A lot of times when students are going into their final exams, especially the first one in law school, they go right into the fact pattern and they start highlighting things and typing down issues and typing out rules, only to get to the end of the question and realize that while they were paying attention to this personal jurisdiction issue, the call of the question actually was about res judicata. Okay, so at the very beginning of the exam, when you go to start a question, look at the actual question at the end of the paragraph and start there. See what the call of the question is so that you know as you're reading the fact pattern what issue you're looking for and what facts you're looking for to support your answer. Now, some questions on your exam may not have any particular call of question. You might get to the end of a fact pattern and it'll just say, hey, tell us what all the issues are and what is the appropriate resolution. In which case, issue spot away. But whether you are doing a fact pattern where you are going through all of the issues or whether you're focusing on one issue, what is very important, and which is tip number 2, is to stay organized and keep it simple. Use IRAC, issue, rule, application/analysis, whichever one you want to use, in conclusion. And let's talk about the application part. A lot of times law students, when they take their first exam, they look at the application as literally just stating the facts. So for example, if the call of the question is whether or not a contract was formed, a student might put that the rule is a contract is formed when there is an offer and an acceptance of that offer, then there's a legally binding contract. And then in the application or the analysis, they'll say, Bill sent a letter accepting John's offer, so there was a contract. No, your analysis should then explain that there is a mailbox rule that establishes that when a letter of acceptance is sent, that the offer is considered accepted upon the sending of the letter. Therefore, when Bill sent his letter accepting the terms of John's offer, it acted as a valid acceptance and formed a legally binding contract. You see the difference? It's not just you regurgitating the facts to the professor, but it's you actually explaining why these facts are relevant to the particular rule and issue that you're talking about and how it applies. Okay? And also, when you're doing that, please keep it simple. Yes, you are going to be expected to show that you know the legal terms. So whether that means you should be using terms like rational basis or collateral estoppel or mailbox rule, those things are important. But you do not need to go on this exam and show that you are a word wizard, okay? You don't need to be TI. And if you are a TI, that is problematic in and of itself. But we're not going to talk about that today. The case and point of what I'm trying to say is that you need to keep it as simple as possible in terms of your language. Your answer does not need to say that John gave an offer that nobody could deny, and Bill was so eager and excited about the offer that he so expeditiously sent his letter in the mail, and by doing that, he formed an agreement with John that if either one of them violated that agreement, they could actually take it to court and be held liable. No. Bill sent a letter accepting the terms of John's offer, thereby creating a legally binding and enforceable contract. That's it. Keep it simple, okay? Now, rule number 3, which is important for this exam as well as in the future for the bar exam, pay attention to time. If your professor tells you to only spend 30 minutes on a question, only spend 30 minutes on a question. No matter how much you might feel like, oh, I have a whole bunch of other stuff to say or there's other issues here. No, focus on the one issue that they've identified for you to address and do it in the timing that they've identified for you to do it in. There is nothing worse than having a 2-hour exam with 3 questions and your professor tells you to spend 1 hour on one question and 30 minutes on the other 2 questions, and you spend 1 hour on the 30-minute question, and now you get to the 1 hour question and you're like, wow, this is really going to take me an hour, and you still have a 30-minute question left to do, which means you're not going to answer one of those questions. It is better for you to limit yourself to the time that the professor has given you and address as many issues as you can. Move on to the next fact patterns, address those, and then if you have time left over, go back to the other questions. Honestly, you give yourself a better chance of succeeding because it's better for you to spread your eggs across, different baskets. Don't put all your eggs in one basket, than for you to focus on one essay that you think you just did your thing, only to find out you ain't getting none of the issues right. So it's better for you to spread across, follow the time rules and formats that your professor has laid out for each question, because again, they're the ones who wrote the exam. They know how much weight that they're giving to each question, and they know how much time it should really take to address those issues. It's better for you to do it that way and get issue points for issues that you properly address across different essays than for you to miss an entire essay or 2 focusing on one and you only get one issue out of like 5 right, So pay attention to the time and follow those time rules that your professors give you. It's just really that simple. And last but certainly not least, stay calm. Keep your cool. As I always say, remember, you are a phenomenal, brilliant, intelligent, amazing, fantastic Black woman who has already gotten her foot in the door. Everything that you need to succeed is already within you. So go ahead, girl. Do your thing. Bye.